In the headlines of this hour on VTV News, National Assembly reviews key legislation to streamline government structure. Later on, military service enlistment ceremonies begin across Vietnam in 2025. In our world news, U.S. and Russian leaders engage in crucial diplomatic dialogue.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is currently 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Dylan Lei with the latest updates. Now, on Thursday morning, the National Assembly discussed draft amendments to the Government Organization Law, the Local Government Organization Law, and a resolution on restructuring the state apparatus.
On the amended Local Government Organization Law, most deputies advocated keeping the current model for further study before aligning it with central government requirements.
This issue is closely related to many other laws in the legal system, so I propose that the drafting committee continue to review it to ensure consistency in delegation processes, clear authority channels, and proper implementation conditions.
Regarding the draft resolution on state apparatus restructuring, deputies requested a thorough review of the legal framework to ensure all state agencies maintain smooth operations, both during and after the reorganization.
Article 13 addresses how to handle emerging issues and introduces a breakthrough provision that allows competent authorities to issue administrative documents to resolve restructuring-related matters. However, I recommend further review to prevent disruptions while maintaining compliance with Resolution 27.
Party General Secretary To Lum emphasized that the law amendments seek to streamline government operations and boost their effectiveness. He also addressed key issues for improving the performance of various agencies, particularly the inspection agencies.
Some have proposed very specific tasks for inspection agencies. This is a matter that requires careful consideration from the Politburo. The inspection agencies themselves acknowledge that their work is currently ineffective. While the government inspectorate has only 400 people, its productivity and efficiency are more than 1,000 times greater than the rest of the inspection system. The question is how to ensure inspections are carried out effectively without the need for an administrative body that occasionally intervenes with fines or other measures, ultimately resulting in the system remaining inefficient. The organizational structure needs to be lean, not bureaucratic, and focused on serving the people.
On the same day, the National Assembly discussed draft amendments to the Government Organization Law.
On Thursday morning, National Assembly Standing Committee met to discuss a draft resolution for piloting new policies to remove obstacles in science, technology innovation, and digital transformation. The Standing Committee emphasized that the resolution must align with the party's guidelines in Resolution 57 on science, technology, and digital transformation development. They stressed the importance of thoroughly reviewing pilot policies to ensure constitutional compliance and prevent overlap, waste, and corruption. The committee also recommended including only essential, urgent, and feasible policies in the resolution for swift implementation. Additionally, they emphasized strengthening post-implementation oversight and decentralizing policy implementation at ministry and local authorities levels. It took Ho Chi Minh City more than 17 years to complete its first urban railway line. The delays were mainly due to obstacles related to policy and processes. To address these issues, the government proposed 6 special mechanisms in a report that aimed to developing the urban railway network in Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi.
According to the report, one of the 6 special mechanisms will be specifically designated for Ho Chi Minh City. This is because the 2024 Capital Law has largely addressed the regulatory obstacles in Hanoi. These 6 mechanisms aim to resolve issues related to policies and regulations in developing Ho Chi Minh City's urban railway system.
This time, the policies must be designed to be highly advanced, covering everything from project preparation to bidding mechanisms. For example, the turnkey contract should be optimized to shorten the lead-in time from 3 to 5 years, while the construction phase should also be completed within the same timeframe.
According to experts, the completion of Metro Line 1 has provided Ho Chi Minh City with valuable experience, enabling the city to confidently move forward with future metro projects. These lessons include project planning, capital utilization, and most notably, implementing the Transit-Oriented Development (TOD) business model, a development approach centered around public transportation.
In the era of digital commerce, office and retail space is no longer as attractive as before. Speed is crucial in this new context, but building more does not guarantee immediate success. Additionally, land auctions are not necessarily easy, especially if there is no buyer demand.
After Metro Line 1, Ho Chi Minh City plans to start Metro Line 2 and launch 3 more lines within 3 to 5 years, aiming for a 355 kilometers network by 2035. This metro expansion is key to modernizing transport and reinforcing the city's role as Vietnam's economic hub.
Vietnam aims to export $8 billion worth of fruit this year, with potential growth to $10 billion by 2027, driven by opportunities in the Chinese market. To achieve this goal sustainably, local farmers and businesses must meet China's strict regulations, particularly the new requirements for cadmium and gold oxide testing.
At border gates in Lang Son, Lao Cai, Quang Ninh, and other provinces, export activities are ramping up. Many companies now understand that adhering to emergency technical barriers is a normal practice for countries aiming to ensure food safety. In the long term, plant quarantine regulations will become stricter, and producers must meet these requirements to maintain their competitive edge.
Fruits from Tianjiang sent to Mong Kai are fully prepared in terms of hygiene and cadmium content certification. China began requiring heavy metal certification in late 2024, but businesses were only delayed by a day or two before finding a factory source to conduct the necessary testing.
A testing and inspection center, jointly established by Vietnamese and Chinese companies, is nearing completion at the border gate of Buc Luan 2. This development will help exporters shorten the time required for quality testing.
The test results accepted by China are a significant advantage for businesses when processing import-export procedures through Mong Kai City.
Businesses are proactively completing their documentation and facilitating smoother exports. This sets a strong foundation for Vietnam to maintain its export scale and regain growth momentum in the coming months.
In 2024, the textile and footwear industries achieved a combined export turnover of over $71 billion. To achieve over 10% growth this year, businesses focus on expanding production, securing orders, and stabilizing labor resources from the start of the year.
Immediately after the Lunar New Year, this footwear company is racing to complete a 500,000 pair order for the U.S. and European markets in the first quarter. Maintaining a steady payroll is vital to securing orders to reach its annual export target of 2 million pairs.
Our goal is to grow by 9 to 10% compared to 2024. While orders have been secured until the end of 2025, production is impossible without a stable workforce. To achieve our targets, labor stability is key.
A leading textile enterprise, which generated over 4,700 billion VND in exports last year, aims for 10% plus growth by expanding production and hiring new workers early in the year.
In 2025, we plan to hire 5,000 workers across factories in Taiping, Thanh Quang and Hanoi to expand capacity, fulfill orders, and drive double-digit growth.
Workers have the right to choose jobs with suitable pay and hours. To attract labor, Vietnam's textile industry now offers Sunday breaks and limits shifts to 9 to 9.5 hours, including breaks, replacing the previous 11 to 12-hour shifts and Sunday work.
Adhering to free trade agreements is essential. Fair working conditions and labor rights benefit employees while enhancing Vietnam's global textile and footwear market competitiveness.
After the Lunar New Year holiday, fishermen in Quang Binh province are setting out to sea with hopes of a prosperous and bountiful fishing season. Local fishermen believe that a successful first trip of the year will bring good fortune, calm seas, full holds, and abundant catches. They have prepared meticulously for this voyage, taking advantage of favorable weather conditions. Nearly 3,000 fishing vessels over 6 meters in length in Quang Binh province are now ready to set sail. Local authorities have mobilized resources to support the fishermen and are working closely with water guards and police to prevent illegal fishing. Before we move on, let's have a look at the exchange rate between the Vietnam dong and some world currencies in today's trading session. Coming up next on VTV News. Military service enlistment ceremonies begin across Vietnam in 2025. And later on, Indian man wins hearts across Vietnam with musical talent. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now moving on to other important updates. The southern region of Vietnam experienced its heaviest unseasonal rainfall in 20 years on Wednesday night and Friday morning. Several areas were inundated, severely disrupting daily life. The most intense rainfall was recorded in Long Thanh or Dong Nai province and So Sao in Bình Dương province, reaching 130 millimeters. Nha Be district in Ho Chi Minh City saw rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters. The downpour caused widespread flooding, forcing residents to move their belongings to higher ground. On National Highway 51 near Bien Hoa City, floodwaters half a meter deep created traffic chaos. The flooding also affected tunnels and intersections in Ho Chi Minh City, including the Nguyễn Văn Linh, Nguyễn Hữu Thọ Junction in District 7. While more unseasonal rain is expected in the southeastern region on Thursday afternoon and night, with possible strong winds and tornadoes, the risk of repeated flooding remains low. In other developments, saline intrusion in the Mekong Delta region is forecasted to be higher in the 2025 dry season than the previous average. To ensure fresh water for domestic consumption and industry, Bến Tre is one of the localities proactively implementing many drastic and synchronous solutions.
This area used to suffer from a serious shortage of fresh water. To solve this problem, the locality urgently invested in a water treatment complex with up to 5,000 cubic meters of capacity before this year's dry season.
With this water treatment complex, we can provide additional fresh water during the dry season for the entire Giao Long Industrial Park and Tunt Phuoc Industrial Cluster.
For households, storing and using water economically is an effective way to cope with drought and salinity.
I collect rainwater and store it. When eating, drinking, and bathing, I try to save fresh water rather than overuse it.
In line with the JICA program, the province built small sluices to form an irrigation system. The province mobilized people to build temporary dams in each area to ensure water sources for daily life and production.
The drought and salinity caused water shortages for 87,000 households in the province, resulting in more than $62.5 million in agricultural losses. The locality has called for the government to invest in completing the unfinished irrigation sluices to prevent salinity and provide fresh water in the long term.
Across many localities, officials have voluntarily chosen early retirement before reaching retirement age. These actions by officials and party members demonstrate their commitment and courage in supporting the government's initiative to restructure and streamline the political system. Our report from Quảng Province.
Former Secretary Nguyễn Hữu Ba and former chairman of the Meat Tract People's Committee Phan Văn Thiên are two officers who have submitted early retirement requests. Their decision comes as two communes, Meat Tract and Hat Tract, merged to form Hat Mi Commune in Bo Tract District, Quảng Bình Province.
We hope to encourage young officers to take on the responsibilities of managing the merged communes. This is why we have voluntarily submitted our retirement applications.
We want to support the preparation of the Party Congress from the term 2025-2027 with our experience. We hope that the new Hat Mi Commune Party Committee for the term 2025-2030 will fulfill expectations of residents from the two communities.
Even though she had over 8 years left in her job, Dinh Thị Minh Thu, deputy head of the Mass Mobilization Front in Minh Hoa District, decided to retire early. So far, officials and civil servants from 15 districts have registered to retire early, following Government Decree 178. The people who have requested early retirement still have between 2 and 10 years of work left.
I voluntarily submitted my early retirement letter to support the structural streamlining initiative outlined in the policy and resolution. This initiative has been implemented effectively at both central and local levels.
This strong consensus will be a great source of motivation that will ensure success for both our province's restructuring and the nation as a whole. It will help drive our country forward into a new era of development.
12 key officials in Quảng Bình Province, under the direct management of the Provincial Party Executive Committee, have also chosen early retirement. As part of the streamlining effort, the province has cut 13 specialized agencies under the People's Committee. This reduction of 7 agencies brings the total number of internal organizations to 97, exceeding the central government's 15% reduction target.
Today, on Thursday, marks the first day of Vietnam's 2025 military enlistment period, with young men from 52 provinces reporting for military and police service duties. Send-off ceremonies will be held over 3 days. Most provinces will conduct ceremonies today, while 6 provinces in Military Zone 4 will hold theirs on February the 14th, and 5 provinces in Military Zone 2 will follow on February the 15th. The Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Public Security have provided local authorities with detailed guidelines to ensure a well-managed registration process that meets quality standards and recruitment targets. Officials are conducting thorough reviews to deferrals and exemption requests to prevent any errors or omissions. Over 500 young citizens in Đắk Lắk province have voluntarily applied for military service this year, a significant increase compared to previous years. This reflects the growing sense of responsibility and duty among the younger generation to contribute to the nation's development and defense. Ethnic youth also express strong faith, honor, and pride, ready to dedicate their prime to safeguarding the country.
Before departing for military service, Theo, a diligent Ede ethnic youth, helped his parents on their coffee farm during the irrigation season. He is the only young man from his village joining the army this year. This is a source of pride for his family and a responsibility he fully embraces, knowing that serving in the military allows him to contribute his youth to the nation's defense.
I feel nervous about the new environment, but I am eager to join to better discipline and improve myself.
For Nai Molo, an 18-year-old ethnic youth, this military uniform holds a special and sacred meaning. It marks the beginning of his journey to fulfill a childhood dream.
I have learned that I will be trained at the 38th Tank Battalion. Honestly, I have always wanted to become a soldier of Uncle Ho. I will do my best to fulfill my duties.
Recognizing the importance of recruitment and enlistment, the entire political system has effectively conducted awareness campaigns and education on the military service law. Recently, authorities have personally visited the families of enlistees, offering support, gifts, and encouragement while listening to their thoughts and feelings.
The quality of military recruitment has improved this year. Across the district, all ethnic groups have strictly followed regulations, especially the Ede community, with 100% eagerly joining the enlistment.
In 2025, Duc Luc Province will have over 2,500 citizens officially enlisting for military service, nearly 48% of whom are ethnic youth. The enlistment ceremony has been fully prepared by local authorities and military units and is set to take place on February 13th.
In recent years, Vietnamese music has gained growing global attention. Music serves as a bridge, helping foreigners discover and fall in love with Vietnam, even those who have never visited. These music lovers then share Vietnamese culture in their own unique ways.
This is Rahul Kumar, a young Indian IT engineer who has never been to Vietnam or taken a formal Vietnamese language class, but can sing Vietnamese songs beautifully and emotionally.
I've never been to Vietnam. There are no Vietnamese people where I live either. My journey with Vietnamese music began when I first heard the song Come With Me by singer Vo Hat Trum. I decided to learn the Vietnamese lyrics and cover the song. After posting it online, the video went viral. The positive feedback from viewers encouraged me to continue singing more Vietnamese songs.
In just over a year, Rahul has performed dozens of Vietnamese songs spanning various genres, from revolutionary music and folk songs to bolero, pop, and rap. His emotive voice and precise pronunciation have made a strong impression on the online community, with many of his videos accumulating millions of views.
Learning to sing a Vietnamese song is not easy for me. It takes weeks to really feel and understand a song. Then I have to learn the lyrics and pronunciation, relying on Vietnamese friends I've met online to correct me. Only after that will I record it. Each song tells a different story about Vietnam, so singing them has helped me better understand and feel closer to Vietnam.
At the end of 2024, Rahul Kumar was invited by Vietnam Television to visit Vietnam and participate in the program Vietnam Come in Love 2024. After seeing and experiencing firsthand what he previously only knew through music, the young man was once again captivated by the people and culture of Vietnam.
I don't know what words to use to describe my happiness, because this is the place I've most wanted to visit. Vietnam is even more beautiful than I imagined. The winter here is colder than in India, but I feel so warm because the people of Vietnam are very friendly. I didn't expect any Vietnamese to recognize me. I'm truly happy. I love Vietnam.
Tôi yêu Việt Nam.
Coming up next in our world news. US and Russian leaders engage in crucial diplomatic dialogue. And later on, flavors blossom for Valentine's Day at edible flower shop in Paris. Now moving over to our world news, US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin held a phone call on Wednesday to discuss ending the Ukraine conflict. This marks the first high-level dialogue between the leaders since Trump's re-election. More to follow.
Russian presidential office spokesperson Dmitry Peskov confirmed the call lasted for almost an hour and a half. Regarding the Ukraine conflict, President Putin agreed with Trump that a long-term settlement could be reached through peaceful negotiations. The spokesman also said the two leaders agreed to meet in the future.
The Russian president invited the U.S. president to visit Moscow. Putin and Trump also agreed to continue personal contacts, including arranging a face-to-face meeting.
For his part, the U.S. president said he had a phone call with Russian President Putin and then Ukrainian President Zelensky about starting negotiations to end the conflict in Ukraine.
And I think we're on the way to getting peace. I think President Putin wants peace, and President Zelensky wants peace, and I want peace. I just want to see people stop getting killed.
Pleasure to introduce.
These developments follow U.S. Defense Secretary Hegseth's statement that restoring Ukraine's pre-2014 borders was unrealistic, and that Ukraine's NATO membership was not considered part of the conflict solution. This position marks a significant shift in Washington's approach to the conflict. President Donald Trump announced that he would hold his first meeting with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, in Saudi Arabia. The Kremlin has not commented on the information.
Russia's emergency services said on Wednesday that they had rescued all 139 fishermen who were stranded on an ice floe drifting in the Sea of Okhotsk in the Western Pacific. The Emergencies Ministry deployed rescue workers, helicopters, and hovercraft to evacuate the fishermen. The rescue operation was conducted in freezing temperatures of 0 degrees Celsius amid snowfall. Initially, about 300 fishermen were stranded when a 10-meter-long ice floe broke off between the village of Malka and the mouth of the Dolink River in Sakhalin Oblast. The winter fishing season in Sakhalin typically runs from early February to April each year. Winters in the region are cold, snowy, and long, often lasting more than 5 months. Bouquets made from fruit, candy, and even bacon are proving to be popular gifts ahead of Valentine's Day on February the 14th. At a unique edible flower shop in Paris, floral arrangements meant for eating are delighting romantic shoppers seeking traditional gifts with a twist. According to the shop owner, France is home to about 150 native edible flowers, each requiring its own preparation method for use in various dishes and drinks. The shop sells these edible flowers to encourage customers to fully appreciate their distinct flavors. Working with 10 local producers across France, the shop also aims to reduce the environmental impact of imported flowers. And before we say goodbye, let's have a look at the weather forecast for Vietnam and other locations in the world. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website, our YouTube channel, or download the mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.